Hi, I'm Deb. I like to talk about the human experience to help others with their human experience. So today's human experience, I want to talk about letting life unfold, about planning and preparing, about letting go and surrendering. What do these things mean to you? Are you someone that plans and prepares? Or are you someone that has always kind of taken life as it comes? How have those choices served you? If you're a planner, you probably went to college, probably have a good job, probably, savings, investments, plans for the things in life. You have it all figured out. And if you're someone that goes with the flow, maybe life is maybe it's always just worked out for you. Or maybe nothing has worked out for you. Has nothing worked out for you because you're not a planner? Has everything worked out for you because you're not a planner? Maybe you are a planner and everything hasn't worked out for you. Maybe you're a planner and things are still going wrong. You're doing all the right things and it's just not working out for you. So, of all these different variations of life, why am I bringing this up? Because life has a way of unfolding and it isn't linear. And from the time that we are born, we are told that life is linear and we need to have a plan. We need to decide who we are. We need to pick a career. We need to plan for retirement. And that has always not sat right with me. And so I want to talk about it because there's a lot of people that buy into this idea of planning and preparing. And then when those plans fall short, they take it really personal. And a lot of people dive into dark circles. And those dark night of the souls are definitely a part of the journey of becoming who we are. But wouldn't it be great if we were taught differently and we didn't have to go through the dark night of the soul to know who we are? Right? If any of this is making sense to you or resonating to some extent, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Join me for more, but let's dive into this a little bit deeper. I am an Aquarius by zodiac signs, which means, I'm an air sign and I'm blonde. Blondes have this stigma about them about being ditzy and airheaded, and being an Aquarius and blonde, that just pretty much seals the deal. Aquariuses also have the stigma of being flighty, airheaded, on the seat of their pants, not following rules, not wanting to plan or prepare, but also very creative and very flowy. 333 as I said that. Oh. And so structure hasn't ever been a thing. However, I'm extremely disciplined and organized and clean. Like, there is method to my madness. And I'm organized to the point that if I am around others, it's very minute details are very apparent and noticeable to me that I either have like working like working in an office, if someone moves something or there are certain patterns that someone has, I notice these things and I have to integrate them to how my brain processes things, and whether that's working around them or saying something to them of like, hey, could, like, my brain works this way, is that okay with you if we adjust this, or can we find a different way to work around it? So being flighty and airheaded and living in the moment has its struggles. Actually, what I just described was like OCD, not flighty and airheaded. Well, there we go. This is me. Okay, so the point is, I remember being a young person and people saying, hey, pick a career, pick a career. And I was aiming for business and accounting because I was going to be a business owner. And if you're going to own a business, you probably need to know how to do your own accounting. So those were my career choices at the time. And then I got pregnant at 15 years old. So the pregnancy led to being told I should get married. So we got married. And then it became this thing of adults that know better, adults within the family that know better. They're financially well off. They know better. They know better, but not better enough to raise children and make better choices. Anyways, um, so they know better, and they're like, you gotta go to school. You gotta get good jobs so you can worry about retirement. You gotta worry about retirement. What are you gonna do about retirement? Gotta have a job that gets you retirement. Blah blah blah. And never mind that we had dreams of being business owners. Never mind that. And the retirement. We got to have plans for retirement. I remember always saying, I don't need to worry about retirement because I'm going to be rich. It was that simple. And while everyone else was stressing and worrying about retirement, I wasn't worried about retirement. But I was worried about the moment. The moment was always so much worse than whatever retirement could bring. I figured if I could figure out how to get through, like if I couldn't even figure out how to get through the current moment, how am I supposed to worry about how am I supposed to function when I'm old? I got to worry about getting to the old part first. So it was a struggle, but it was a good, that belief of I don't need to worry about it because I'm going to be rich allowed me to live in the moment. Now, what did living in the moment get me? Living in the moment got me, I went from living in a place that was okay, but it wasn't anything grand, to living in a condominium in a private neighborhood and having access to my whole basement, to the whole basement floor was my access whenever I wanted. 16 years old in this like $400,000 condo. I mean, it's probably worth more now, but in a private place on the bench of the mountain, surrounded by nature. I could walk to go hike in the mountains. My walks could involve, I mean, it was gorgeous. So living in the moment led me to be in a place that felt so amazing and I felt so worthy. Now, could I afford $7 thing of baby wipes? No, I could not because I was 16 years old with a baby. But life had this way of always making sure I was taken care of and always putting me in places that, even though I had perceived struggles and my own lessons, I was still very fully taken care of. I had my name on the title of a house completely paid for at the age of 20. After getting pregnant at 15, graduating high school early at 17, married at 17, by 20, I had a house with my name on the title. Did it last forever? No. My alcoholic husband took it up. That's another thing. Not to talk about people, but that's yeah. So God took care of us. And even though I think that I came from a poor family, I had the cutest matching outfits when I was buying school clothes. Like, yes, there were some hand-me-downs, but like for a lot of the big things, I was well taken care of. I had fresh fruits and vegetables and the freedom to go play with all the neighborhood animals. Like, that's an amazing way to grow up. And I know this video seems really like off track I don't even know. This video is just weird in stories, but it's the unfolding versus planning. Just allowing the unfolding to happen is so beautiful. And then after being married and divorced, I said I wasn't ever going to get married again. And I did that because I saw how people were always growing and changing, and I wanted to grow and change. They say that when you drink alcohol, your brain is always kind of stunted at the age that you started. So I kind of viewed my husband at the time as always being stuck as a teenager and just drinking all the time. I don't know what he's like now, so whatever. But at the time, and I was growing. Like when I met him, we had plans to own a business. We were going to own a nightclub. And he had the financial backing to do it. I was marrying into wonderful dreams. And then I learned that those dreams were just dreams. It was just potential backed by facade of perfection, not passion. There were shadows all over the place. Everyone's darkness coming out. No one doing things out of passion. Everyone just doing things out of fear and follow a plan. So when I left that marriage, I said I wasn't going to get married again because I wanted to always allow myself the ability to grow. And I didn't want a marriage to hold me back in that. And then I went through a really dark relationship, not healthy, super toxic. And then that led to a relationship that I manifested in a world-class designation. I live like a millionaire, basically. and these aren't, these aren't without their troubles. I've been a meth addict. I have filed bankruptcy. I have been homeless. I have had people hate me. I have gone through self-mutilation. I've been my own alcoholic, I've had my own issues with alcoholism. I've had my own escapism issues with partying. I've had my struggles. I don't talk to my family. I, I've lost my temper. I've betrayed others. There's some extreme karma out there of things where I didn't make the best choices, knowingly did not make the best choices that were very dishonest to many people. So I've done these things. And then I manifested a really amazing relationship. We went like 6 years without a fight. I think we've raised our voice with each other like once, maybe twice. And it was the most beautiful thing. And I had won, and life was great. I knew who I was. I felt supported and loved. And even in that, I had no desire to get married. But we were building a life together, and it was the most beautiful thing. And then he proposed. And the moment he proposed, my spirit freaked out. I could no longer live in the unfolding. I pretended to go with it for a while, and then I eventually left because of the unfolding, of the growing. We built this amazing life, and I had another level up and awakening, and he couldn't go there with me. And I was like, this is why I can't get married, because getting married traps you into not being able to unfold. It adds plans. And when life has a plan, it doesn't allow the specialty of it unfolding. I'm just noticing this video was 14 minutes long, and I probably could have said all this in like 4 minutes. I might redo this. I might do a shorter version. But just the unfolding. I said I didn't want to get married because I wanted to grow. And the moment he proposed was the moment life started unfolding in a different direction. And I went with it. I could have stayed engaged and said, okay, I have these emotions, let's work through them. And I didn't. I just straight said, The universe is giving me signs to go this direction. I'm out. It was very impulsive. It was backed by a knowing of God. And as I look back over the lessons that I've learned since that moment of me leaving, it's kind of a cycle completion now. And it's such a weird bittersweet when you look back at cycle completions, like really seeing the death of the person that you were then, and really seeing what life would have been like if you didn't take the other path. But through all this, I've had so many times where I've tried to plan and plan and plan, and the universe always laughs and changes the plans. And I'm like, ugh. So we're not here to plan. We're not here to prepare, perhaps, but plan and prepare with anxiety? No. We're here to trust the unfolding. We're here to trust that as long as in the moment, as long as we're always following what our heart says is right within the moment, and whatever unfolds is going to unfold exactly as it's meant to. And that's really how I could have summed up the whole video. So, yeah. Yep. I guess that's it for today's video. Thanks for the coffee talk. Unfolding, planning. I'm trying to get better at trusting the unfolding. I'm trying to get better. There's a certain thing of like, what do you know what is impulse and what is intuition and what is being irresponsible versus like making the right choice? How do you know? How do you know? I'm kind of been doing this experiment with impulse buys lately to let myself, my joy is worth it. But with a fine line of understanding consumerism. But every little time we make a choice out of fear versus faith, it radiates and ripples out. And yesterday I made a purchase out of faith, and it is surrounded by fear. I'm trying, like, I don't want the fear to be around it, and that's the practice. So I'm still practicing, and maybe the next time I practice, it won't have fear around it. But that's the thing, is I'm practicing making this choice out of faith, and I can feel the fear. I can feel the fear here, like I'm here. I can feel it as a bubble circling the faith, saying, that was irresponsible. You acted impulsively. That joy was irresponsible. And I'm getting teary right now because. So my notes that I was meditating on before the video, I guess this video is not over. It was called Breaking Agreement with False Authority. And it's about our inner judge process of writing down 3 phrases your inner critic says. And when there are parts of my inner critic saying that, like, being irresponsible means you're not worthy. If you're not being responsible in every moment, then you don't deserve to be here. And where's fun and joy fit in with being responsible? So yesterday I made a choice out of fun and out of joy, although it was irresponsible. And I am very curious to see what the ripple effect is going to be of that choice. So we shall see. And I am fighting back tears so hard just because those are the emotions of things. And if I told you the choice and the thing, y'all would laugh, but it would show some real light into my actual life situation that I keep very much under wraps. Yep. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. You being there, being a witness for me makes a difference in the world. And I hope me being here to hopefully offer a friend for you makes a difference. We're changing the world. I'm looking for my little remote. We're changing the world. One aha moment at a time, one faithful, silly leap at a time. Have a blessed day.